Title: The Bellmaker's Echo. In the mist-shrouded town of Greymore, where the hills sighed with secrets, the bell tower loomed over cobbled streets, its voice silent for decades. Once, its chimes had marked dawn and dusk, weddings and warnings, but now only crows perched on its rusted frame. The townsfolk spoke of Thane, the last bellmaker, who'd forged the tower's heart, a bronze bell said to sing truths no one could bear. Thane was gone, vanished one storm-racked night, leaving whispers that his craft had crossed a forbidden line. Only Ira, his granddaughter, believed he still lingered, somewhere beyond Greymoor's fog. Ira, 21, was a tinker by trade, her hands nimble with wire and scrap, her auburn hair tied back in a practical knot. Her workshop, a cluttered shed, hummed with half-finished gadgets, but her true work was private, a map of sounds, charting every echo in Greymore, seeking one that matched the bell's lost song. She'd been 8 when Thane disappeared, his last words to her a riddle. Listen for what's missing. The townsfolk pitied her, calling her obsession a child's grief, but Ira's gray eyes held a fire they couldn't douse. Each twilight, when shadows pooled like ink, Ira climbed the moors, a tuning fork in her pocket, its hum her only guide. The wind carried noises, cartwheels, sheep bleats, the river's murmur, but never the bell's voice. She tapped the fork, its note sharp, and listened, her map growing with each failed search. Doubt gnawed at her, yet Thane's riddle drove her on, a pulse beneath her skin. One evening, when clouds choked the stars and rain threatened, Ira reached the tower. Its door, warped by time, hummed ajar, daring her. She'd avoided it for years, fearing its silence, but tonight her feet moved unbidden. Inside, the air was heavy, smelling of rust and regret. A spiral stair led up, its steps groaning under her weight. At the top, the bell hung, massive, its surface etched with symbols like ripples frozen in bronze. Ira's breath caught. She tapped her fork, and the bell answered. Not a chime, but a low thrum, alive, as if it breathed. "You're still here," she whispered, half to the bell, half to Thane. A shadow shifted, not hers. She turned, heart lurching. A figure stood in the gloom, tall, cloaked, its face obscured, hands gloved in leather. "You shouldn't have come," it said, voice a rasp, neither man nor woman. Ira gripped her fork like a weapon. "Who are you? What's this bell?" The figure stepped closer, its cloak brushing the floor. Thane's folly. He forged it to hold echoes, not sounds, but souls. Greymoor's secrets, its pains, its dead. He thought he could free them. Ira's mind reeled. She saw Thane smile, his hands shaping metal, his eyes distant. "Where is he?" she demanded. "Inside," the figure said, nodding at the bell. He rang it and it took him, as it takes all who listen too long. The thrum grew, pulling at Ira, her mother's lullaby, Thane's laugh, a scream cut short. She staggered, visions flooding. Greymoor's lost, their faces pleading. "Stop it," she cried, slamming her fork against the bell. A discordant clang erupted, and the visions shattered. The figure flinched, retreating. "Go," it hissed, "or join him." Ira ran, the tower's hum chasing her down the stairs, across the moors, to her shed. She burned her map that night, its edges curling to ash, but kept the tuning fork, its note now faint. Graymore woke, oblivious, the tower silent again. Ira mended her gadgets, her hands steady, but at twilight she'd pause, ear cocked for an echo she'd never chase again. The bell held Thane, and she'd carry him, not in bronze, but in the quiet spaces where her heart still listened. Thank you, amazing viewers. We're so grateful to you for listening to our story videos on English through stories. Your support for adventures like The Glass Orchard and The Bellmaker's Echo means the world to us. Keep learning English with us. More exciting stories are coming.